Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be reviewing the comments you guys made on my recent video, the end of Dust 514. This video was aired 6 days ago and I asked you guys to write in the description, not the description, in the comments, your most memorable Dust moments. And a lot of you have responded with some awesome memories, some memories that I can relate to, and I'm pretty sure you guys out there will relate to them as well. So I've picked 7 out of the, I don't know, loads of comments that are on that video. I'm sorry if your comment isn't here. Some of them were really long and I couldn't, I won't be sat here reading an essay. But feel free to go back to the video and have a read yourself, because some of them are really, really awesome to read. So I will start with the first one. This one, this one brings back a really good memory for me as well. It's by Winterwolf 211. It says, the funniest moments are glitches. The dancing corpse, a dead player moving like they're trying to go up a ladder, however there is no ladder around and he is ground level, basically dancing in a corner. My court mate and I had a good laugh, and he was there for the whole game and never disappeared. Now this, I remember back in like 1.4, where I was in my Enforcer tank, my value, and it cost 2.8 million ISK, this tank, and I shot this guy off a ladder with my scattered iron cannon, and he went flying for about 50 meters. Then as soon as he landed, he was still climbing the ladder. Well, he looked like he was climbing the ladder, and I came to know this glitch as the raving clone. And it was the funniest thing I saw. I got out of my tank, recorded it, called my squad together, and we all danced with this raving clone. It was hilarious. It was pretty much like, if you see someone climbing a ladder, they move their arms up and the legs are dancing at the same time. It's so funny to see. If it ever happens again, I've never been able to get footage of it because I wasn't recording back then, and if I can see it before Dust goes to an end, I will record it. It is just so funny to see. Okay, the next one is by Matt. They say, remember that one PC we had? I forget who we were fighting, but we had only about 51 clones to start with, and in the end we won with like 17 clones or something. It was such a scrubby yet intense PC. Now I do remember this PC battle. This is when my corp was in PC. We were trying to claim this planet, but every time we went to fight this one corp, they would just have someone else ringing for them, and it was just difficult, we were just starting out and we couldn't play against experienced PC players at this time. But there was this one day where we were double stacked. We had an attack and a defense against the same people. So we went into the attack at first, and they rang all the ringers in our defense. So we went in and we won the attack against them, and then we went into the defense against them on the re-up. And we went against the same team twice, and we won twice. On the second PC, the defense, we only had 51 clones to start with, and they had 117. And we went into this PC, it was the bridge map, and we were all having fun, we were just laughing, we weren't thinking we were going to win. And we only lost 32 clones, I think, in the end of it, and they lost 117. We cloned them and defended the district. It was such a good day, and it was just really fun and a really good memory. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This one's by Ron. Dust isn't at all the kind of game that is noob friendly, but I really liked the game, and after some matches I was able to unlock advanced gear, and then I started to destroy everybody like the good old academy days. See, when I started the game, there was no academy, there was no tutorials or anything. You were just thrown into the battle with, I don't know, 15 other people. It was only skirmish and ambush back then, I believe. There was no domination, there was no... It was just pretty much skirmish and ambush. So I was in ambush all the time, doing my thing. And it was just horrible, to be honest. I was just dying all the time. In the first week of playing this game, I just hated it. I went back to Call of Duty and Battlefield, which are the games that I started off playing. Didn't play this game for about 3 weeks. And then I came back on, had a bit of SP, and I skilled into a heavy with a GEC assault rifle. And I was a proper noob, it was fun to start killing people because I had enough health to do it. And yeah, so I can relate to that one. Let's move on. Fumes, NL. I've played for 2 years and have a lot of memorable things happen. But the best one definitely was when I first discovered the Logi role. Killing is fun, but I really love the unique aspect of Dust. Also, it makes good war points. Now, the Logi role, that is probably one of the best things of Dust. There wouldn't be any domination matches if it wasn't for Logis. They're dropping up links, keeping the battle going. They're picking up the teammates. They can pretty much turn the tide of a battle without firing a single bullet. You don't have to go into a game and focus on killing people. You can just go into a game and focus on winning. You can help your team, support your team, and just do everything to help your team out. It's awesome to think that you don't actually have to shoot people. Okay, let's move on. Valentino. My most memorable moment in this game was in a domination mission where there was a tunnel between A and the supply depot. We had no possession of A, but that last stand at the supply depot was just awesome. Now, I believe we can all relate to this. This is the Galente Research Facility map, where the supply depot is underground, under the road, and you've got Alpha inside the chimney. And when the whole team's in that supply depot area watching both entrances, there's only 2 ways in. It is one crazy battle. You got so many heavies and so many Logis, and you get the RE scouts trying to run around RE, or everyone. It's just an awesome game. And I think before the jump mods were involved, I think it was even better. And I've had some awesome games on that map. That was probably one of the best Dust maps, but it's a shame that it started to have frame rate issues as the game progressed. I don't know why it got frame rate issues, but it sucks. Okay. Let's move on. Tony Hill. I too am going to miss Dust, as well as your great vids. It's been great playing and getting to know the strangers that have become friends. Now, this one is probably the most... I don't know, I'm going to miss this one the most. You go out there and you make friends at people that you never thought that would be your friends, people all across the world. It was so easy to make friends in Dust because you can help each other out, you can watch each other's back. Unlike any other game, you go into Call of Duty, you're dead within 3 bullets. You can't really watch each other's back when you're dead after 3 bullets. You can't make that connection between players. You can't... I don't know, there's just something about Dust where you can connect with other players without even speaking to them. Yeah, it's just awesome the way that happened. And I hope the same concept is in the next game that they're making. I just think that's awesome, the way strangers can become friends. Okay, this will be the last one, and this one comes with a link because it's about one of my videos. It's one of my tanking buddies from ages ago. He says, Sax, remember when we were both in missile tanks on the skirmish map and went against like 10 tanks? We were so strategic. I'll miss the fun times. Now this battle that he's on about, it was one of probably the most fun times tanking that I've had. It's when the gun logis had 3 high slots and 2 low slots, and it was awesome. The missiles fired as fast, and the enemy team was tank spamming so much that me and him just went out and obliterated all of them. I'll leave a link, it should pop up now. I'll leave a link here for you guys, and you guys can watch that video and see what we're talking about. It was just awesome. I'm going to stop speaking now and let you guys listen to some music as the gameplay goes on. In this video I'm just tanking now, but it's pretty good. It was a fun game. Sorry if your memory wasn't on the video, I just had to put a few out there. Feel free to go back to the video and have a read yourself. They are all cool memories. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you next time, guys. You're all awesome.